boys and girls. Tonight on Fox News we have a lovely guest with us named Andrea Fox. Now she is going to be talking to us a little bit about something called disrupting social norms. Now, Ms. Fox, can you tell us a little bit about what exactly is social norms?
Oh, yes, of course. So, the social norms is like kind of the way we live our lifestyle. It's our standards, our morals, our values, you know, it's what we live by. So there's two types of norms. There's your formal and then there's your informal. Now informal, they're also called the folkway, and those are unwritten laws. So an example would be like holding the door open or saying please and thank you and walking on the right side of the hallway. Like, it's not an actual written law that you have to do those, it's just common courtesy too. Then there's your formal norms, and those are your actual written laws. So you have two types of formal norms. There's your mores and your taboos. Now your mores are ones that are actual written laws. So something like driving on the right side of the road or hijacking a car, like you have to abide by the laws. If you hijack a car, you can get thrown in jail. And if you don't drive on the right side of the road, you could also probably get thrown in jail. Then your taboos, though, a little bit different. They are ones that, just thinking about them, you're like, oh, would never even break those, you know? They're just kind of disgusting, like, you know, dating a relative or a cousin or your brother or sister, or like eating a person. Like, it's you wouldn't even think about doing those. So those are the two types of norms. You have your informal and your formal.
Oh, well, my word, I didn't know there were so many types of social norms. We got your taboos and your mores and folkways, and my word. Now, Miss Fox, could you elaborate on which social norm did you break?
Well, the social norm that I broke was I went to the mall and I went up and hugged random strangers, and I would act like I knew them. So I would go up and be like, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you forever. How's your mom doing? And yeah, so it was interesting. I got some interesting responses. And so the norm that I broke, it was, you guys would say it was an informal norm because, well, it's not illegal, but it's not really normal to go up and hug a random stranger.
Oh, so you went to a mall to break your social norms. Heh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just for you, we have a recording of Miss Fox breaking the social norms. Shall we take a look? Let's look.
And here's Andrea.
Nervous.
She is nervous right before going into
Let's get out of the middle of the street.
Gurney Mills to break the social norm. And her quote-unquote brother,
Sidekick.
Weston, will be assisting her.
Does that count, Andrea?
We're good.
Let the fun begin. Lean.
it make you feel when you had to go up and hug a random stranger? That has to be quite hard, I must say.
Oh, yes, it was very hard. It was just, I mean, it was very like nerve-wracking, you know, and just going up to a random person and hugging them, that's something you do on a normal basis. And I mean, it was hard to work up the courage, but it was good because my support group that came along with me was just like, all right, Andrea, just gotta do it, just gotta get it done with, and just, I mean, think about it from the other perspective, like the people that I was going up to. Maybe, you know, I would make their whole day, you know, they weren't going to the mall to be expecting a random stranger to hug them. So, and actually, unfortunately, as you saw in the clip, there was this cute old grandma, and there was a little technical difficulties with the recording, but I figured I would talk about it. So I went up to this little grandma, so cute. I didn't want to scare her too much. So I walked up to her and gave her a big hug and was like, oh, hello, how are you? And she was like, oh, hello, I'm fine. And so then I was like, well, you have a nice sweater on, it's very pretty. She was like, oh, thank you. And so then I was like, well, have a good rest of the day. And I walked away. Well, I didn't hear this, but my sidekick, Weston, he heard the old Hispanic lady go up to her granddaughter and was like, oh, me acostó, which means I was scared. So unfortunately, that was not on clip, but, oh, she was so cute. But she was probably one of the best ones just because she responded the best. She didn't look at me and was like, oh, who are you? And like beat me with her cane or anything. She just kind of smiled and was like, oh, it's very nice. And so, but then, as you also saw in the clip, so I spotted a girl and I was like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna go do this one. And so I walked up to her and I kind of did the facial expression like, and when I did that, she looked at me and was like, and then kept walking. So she kind of, you know, like pursed her lips a little bit at me and was like, girl. And so kind of shut me down a little bit, you know, and I was like, okay, not gonna do that one. And so that one, you know, kind of shut me down a little bit. But then afterwards I was like, okay, I have to do another one to work up my courage again, you know, end it on a good note. So, but yes, it was very nerve-wracking.
Well, I would have to say you would feel a great deal of pressure going up to random strangers and hugging them. Did you feel quite a bit of pressure?
Oh, yes. Felt a lot of pressure. I was like walking into the mall and I was taking my coat off and I was like sweating and heat flashes, and yes, I felt a lot of pressure. But after I did it like once or twice, I was like, okay, not so bad. Not as bad as the first one. Working up the courage to do the first one, oh my goodness, terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Now, Miss Fox, what exactly does this violation of social norms, what does it reveal about social pressures to conform to, you know, to the world and to other people?
Well, you know, after doing this, it kind of made me realize, I mean, it's not like I knew this before I did it, but it made it more clear that people aren't willing to go out of their comfort zones, you know? Like, people just, they want to fit in and they want to conform themselves to the way society is. So, because people don't want to, you know, they don't want to receive a lot of that attention, and they don't want to receive the dirty looks or maybe the bad choice of words they would hear. And I just feel like a lot of people aren't really open to meeting new people and to doing, you know, breaking the ice every once in a while. More people are kind of just laid back, you know, and they don't want to make a big deal or an issue, and they just kind of want to go with the flow, you know?
Ha! So, what you're saying is a lot of people don't disrupt social norms because they don't want to stand out and they don't want to maybe receive a few choice words or dirty looks and or negative responses. So that helps us, keeps us people in line and to not disrupt social norms. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly. I think people just want to fit in with society and conform, so because it is hard to be different and to stick out. So a lot of people just want to be like, hey, I'm cool if you cool.
Well, there you have it, folks. Disrupting social norms does have its pros and cons. Cons being, don't do anything illegal that will make you go to jail. But the pros are, you could make people's day, or you could put a smile on someone's face, and maybe you could make people's whole week. You don't know. Going up and hugging random strangers, but don't follow people around because that's creepy. Or, you know, you could just randomly give someone a high five or hold the door open for someone and say please and thank you. You know, I see more of this world going darker, and more negative, and people are not broadening their horizons. All they want to do is be in their own little group. They don't want to spread out. So, I think breaking social norms we should do every once in a while and make ourselves feel good. We can make other people's day. And Miss Fox, I think you've done a stellar job, and thank you for coming on today's show and showing the world what it really means to disrupt social norms. So thank you. And thank you for watching 7 o'clock Fox News. My name is Jim Kebab. Good night.